Kia ora, Helen Brahms here, can be live from Sun City in Arizona. Hope you've all had a super fantastic, sparkling Serenity Sunday. I love Serenity Sundays. I have had the most amazing Serenity Sunday while suffering with I think it was 105 today. I don't remember. I really didn't care. We got up this morning. It was 94 degrees at 7:30 when we went for our walk, and we came back and we just bunked down inside for the rest of the day and did as little as possible. It was just too hot. It got up to 115 degrees outside. It got to 82 here in the RV. We had to pull the awning in mid-morning because the winds were getting up. And so, of course, this afternoon, the whole passenger side is getting bathed in sunlight. So I was not happy about that, but that's the way it goes. And so we just had all the curtains, blinds, everything just completely drawn closed so that to keep the sun out as much as possible. Yes, we have the screens on the windows on the outside. That helps. And then I was looking at, I'm sitting there in the recliner, I'm looking up at the AC and going, it looks rather dirty where the filter is. So got out, turned once. This is how bad it was. Okay, so I turned off this AC unit. I got everything ready with the filters. Had them all laid out. I had a wet cloth to wipe down the outside of the AC casing where the air gets of the intake. Then I turned off this AC unit, unscrewed it. It's like a half turn with take a teaspoon of a handle. It's half a turn on the little screw that's there. And the whole thing comes down, took that off, wiped down the outside of the air intake, put the new filter on, put it back up. The RV had already increased in 6 degrees in that 3 minutes that one AC unit was off. And then we had to turn it back on and then turn off the other one. The other one took a little longer because on the front one there's a wire that comes off the back of the intake to connect to a solar panel if it is mounted on top of the AC, which it was on the old AC but not on the new one. But you still got to cut a hole in the filter for it, so it takes just a minute longer to get that in place and figure out where the cut goes for that to get pulled through. And so I did the same with that, and again the temperature went up again inside the RV. But we put got both ACs back on with clean filters in them, had the dirty filters sitting in the trash bag waiting to go out because we pulled the trash to take over to the trash can tonight. And yeah, it's like 105 out there right now. So I'm trying to read the screen on my Echo over there. Yeah, 102 around 9 p.m. this evening. And so got that done. We also went at one point and just laid down in bed and slept. The term for it, we just slept. We did as little as I haven't even done up my planner for next week yet. And what else did we do? Nothing really. I read for a little bit, fell asleep, woke up, the screensaver on my Kindle was on, put the Kindle over on the side there, went back to sleep. I think we slept for 3 hours there, Zeph? Yeah, about 3 hours. Came out, we watched the movie Red Notice. That was cool. That was pretty cool. It was a very different story with a couple of twists and turns in it. So that was fun. That was actually a really good movie. It's got the woman who plays Wonder Woman is in there, and Ryan Reynolds is in there, and Dwayne Johnson. Very interesting cast and very interesting movie. It was very entertaining, and so we watched that, and then I was watching into the final season of Law and Order UK, and so I was watching a season of that, and I suddenly looked at the clock and went, "Oh, it's 7:30." No idea what the day was. So we just did not pay attention to time today, except for getting up at the normal time, doing my normal morning routines and everything else. But then looking at the clock and going, "Oh my gosh, it's 7:30 at night. Where's the day gone?" We didn't really care. It was sort of like, okay, Zeph, so she's ready to go. I've got her, I've got one of those scarves that you soak in water and you keep in the refrigerator until needed. And that's around her neck right now and underneath her harness. So hopefully that'll help keep her a little cool outside. Furs up against it looks so cute. So she's just waiting for us to go. So we're ready to go. Shoes are on. I just got to put my earpiece on so I can listen to my audiobook. I'm up to book either 8 or 9 in the Jack Reacher series. I'm re-listening to the entire Jack Reacher series right now. And book 1 was the one that was made into the Amazon original TV series. Book 8, the one I'm reading now, One Shot, that's the movie that's called Jack Reacher with Tom Cruise as Jack Reacher. There's a lot of difference between that and the books. I'm listening to. I went actually watched the movie the other day while I was reading the book and going, okay, they really sped this up and missed out. And when I was watching the movie, I thought, that's a little disjointed. Why do I feel like it's disjointed? And then I was going to listen to the book and I'm going, oh, that's why it seems so. There's just, the movie doesn't flow as well as the book does. In that sense. So there's a lot of differences between the movie and the book, and the movie just didn't seem to flow very well. So that was kind of interesting. And of course it had to be, you had to take this 17 chapter book. I don't know how many pages it is. I'm just listening to it. And cram it into, it's like an 8 hours of listening time, and you got to cram it into, I think it's like a 2-hour movie, maybe less than a 2-hour movie. So I understand they've got to chop some stuff out and change some stuff around to make the storyline flow and all that. But when I was watching, I was like, this just doesn't flow. It's very choppy. But anyway, and then so I'm either on 8 or 9, and so it's either the next book or the one after that that Amazon are making into season 2, of Jack Reacher. So I can't remember if I'm on book 8 or 9 right now. And my phone's over. Where is my phone? Oh, my phone's over there by the bench waiting to go in my pouch. So I'm either on book 8 or 9, but it's book 10 that they're making into season 2, that Amazon's making into season 2 of Jack Reacher. So, of Reacher, not Jack Reacher, Reacher. They're making it Reacher. They're calling the TV series. So I can't wait for that to come out. I'm not sure when that's going to be appearing, but I'm looking forward to it coming out. And then there was another book in the Jack Reacher series that they made into a movie with Tom Cruise in it again. I think it's Never Go Back, and I can't remember which book that is, but it's well after book 10. So it's kind of interesting going back, and so I'm getting keen to listening to book 10 again to remind myself what it's all about. So when I see the TV series come out, it'll be a lot fresher in my mind, or it'll come back a lot easier. Killing Fields came back pretty good when I was watching that, and it had been ages since I listened. It was after I think I've now watched that Reacher series 5 times now, 4 times. It was really funny because when my niece was staying with me, we were talking about it, and I says, oh, and she goes, well, what's it all about? I says, well, we'll just play the first episode of the series, and you can decide for yourself. Now, her role in the movie industry is that she is a script supervisor, I think it's called. She's the one that sits there with the script and pulls out all the inconsistencies, where the person's holding the bottle in their hand, and then you see the scene from the side and it's sitting on the table, and then when they go front, they're holding it in their hand again, or the red tie versus the blue tie type of stuff. So she's the one that makes sure that they have the consistency in the thing. And we got the end of the first episode and I said, what did you think of that? She says, that's really good. She says, and also, they were very good on the consistency. And then she starts going into her little movie role thing. It was really cool that she didn't spot any consistency errors while she was watching it. And so that was really cool to get her opinion from that side of things. So she says, so how many times have you watched this first episode? I went, well, this was number 4. And then after she left the next day. And so I watched the rest of the series. You can't just watch episode 1 and not the rest of them. That's just not right. And I can't remember if I've watched it since. No, I haven't. So I've seen it 4 times now. So yes, I've seen the series 4 times. Yeah, I know. There's probably people out there who've seen it more than I have. But today was all about rest and relaxation, and that's exactly what we did. We just stayed inside, stayed as cool as we possibly could. The other reason we had all the windows and blinds closed was, walking around semi-naked because it's just so hot. There's only so many layers you can take off in the heat. So I have these tank tops, which are like little mini dresses, and I mean mini dresses. And so I had those on, and I had one of those on today, and it was nice. It was a lot cooler than wearing t-shirt and shorts. So yeah, that was, yeah. And it was just like, keeping it cool, because one of the ways to keep cool is to keep the blinds closed. I just opened them now before the live to see what the lighting was like outside. So we are going to need a flashlight when we go out, which is fine. The street lights will be on, which is fine. I've got my reflective vest on. Zeffy has her reflective harness on. So, and we've got our reflective leash. So always safety, 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 and being visible at night. That's our number one goal. So we have no idea where the time went today, and we really don't care. It was a day of awe. It was a Sunday. It was Serenity Sunday, and we definitely had a day of awe. It was awesome. Um, and so we're now ready for a rocking week that's going to be coming. I have my second presentation on Wednesday morning, which is going to be awesome. I've put aside the t-shirt I want to wear for that one. I actually wanted to wear on the first one, but totally forgot, and it was in the wash. Because my talk is entitled Moving Forward Alone, the t-shirt has on the front of it, keep moving forward, and on the back it's got things like crying is okay, falling is okay, puking is okay, pain is okay. There's another one. Did I say falling? Falling is like 5 or 6 of them, but quitting is not. Yeah, and at the bottom it's got quitting is not okay. It's not. So it's got all the acceptable things that you can do to keep moving forward, and the last one says quitting is not. But yeah, it's become one of my favorite t-shirts. So I am purposely not wearing that one until Wednesday morning, because I want them to be able to see the keep moving forward on the front of the shirt, because that's been my motto since Brad passed, was to keep moving forward. Because I promised him I would keep moving forward and keep following my dreams, and so that's my promise to him, is that I've got to keep moving forward no matter what. Life can throw you a shitstorm at times, and you just got to make the most of it that you can and just keep moving forward, even if it's half a shuffle, even if it's sitting there with like a watch or a clock that's got a second hand on it and saying, Lord, get me through the next 15 seconds. Get through those 15 seconds, take a deep breath. Okay, Lord, get me through the next 30 seconds, or just even if it's 15 seconds at a time, just to help you get back in the mind. And concentrating on that single hand helps you get back, drag you back into the moment, drag you back from the edge of wherever you are, whether you're on the edge of a breakdown or whatever, but it just helps you keep moving forward, because you're still up, you're still breathing, everything's going to be okay. There's just sometimes that you just got to get through the next 30 seconds, the next 10 seconds, the next 5 minutes. And I learned that from a guy who had a very rare form of cancer, of which there is like virtually no survivors on this type, but he has survived. And when he was in hospital, there was a reason he was in hospital. He was critically ill, and they said the next 24 hours is going to be the most critical time. He said he was laying there in bed, he could see the clock up on the wall, and most hospital clocks have a second hand on them. And that's what he did for 24 hours. He lay there looking at that clock, and Lord, get me through the next 1 minute. Get me through the next minute. Get me through the next minute. And he said, I did that for 24 hours. And we got to that 24-hour mark, and he knew that he was going to be okay. So sometimes you got to take it a few seconds at a time, sometimes a minute at a time. But whatever you got to do to get through it, get through it. If you have to pick up a phone and call somebody and have them sit with you through that minute, do it. Friends like that are just incredible people. So we are now going to go and head out into the heat. It's like 102, I think. Alexa, what's the temperature outside? She's not talking to me. Alexa, what is the temperature outside?
Right now, it's 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, expect a low of 84 degrees.
84 low? Alexa, what is 104 degrees in centigrade?
104 degrees Fahrenheit is 40 degrees Celsius.
40 degrees Celsius is 104 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, we're about to go for a walk in that, and it's dark and it's hot. And the overnight low will be 84, which means that the overnight temperature won't get to 84 till around 5 o'clock in the morning. So we will be running with both ACs again tonight, just to try and keep us cool enough that we can get some sleep. And that's one thing I don't like about the heat, is trying to sleep when it's as hot as it is. Actually going to try and look for these little portable AC units that you can get. So I might try and find one for the, and it runs on a battery, and it'll run for like 8 hours or whatever. And you put like water, put cold water in them. and it helps put the humidity in there because it's getting dry. And tomorrow we're under fire watch warnings because of the winds, the low humidity. I'm like, great. Although we are kind of on the edge of that area, so we'll see how we do. But anyway, go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening. Let us know in the comments below what you did to rest, relax, rejuvenate, refresh. Just get ready for the week ahead. That taking that time out to be away from work, to be offline. That was another cool part about today, being completely offline. Yeah, love it. I like spending a day not on the computer or on the phone or on the internet. The only thing I was on the internet for is that I was doing my jigsaw puzzles on the laptop, on the iPad while I was watching Law and Order. But that's what I do when I watch the TV series. I sit there, I do jigsaw puzzles or word puzzles and that sort of thing. So anyway, it was all part of the Serenity Sunday. So go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow for Magic Monday. What spark are you going to ignite tomorrow to help get you through the week and make it a super fantastic sparkling week? Hey, Conetta. Do, 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 do.